He was 12 years old when he buried both his parents in the same week, and while he was still grieving, his own uncle was already signing away everything that belonged to him. This is the story of a boy who lost everything to the one man who was supposed to protect him, and the single piece of paper that gave it all back, 15 years later. Ethan was 12 when the accident happened. A truck, a highway, a phone call in the middle of the night. Both his parents, gone, just like that. One moment he had a family, the next, he had a funeral to attend, too young to even fully understand what forever meant. His father had built something before he died, a small piece of land, a modest house, some savings meant for Ethan's education. Not a fortune, but enough to matter. Enough to build a life on. With no parents left, Ethan went to live with his father's older brother, his uncle, Richard. On the outside, it looked like an act of kindness. A grieving family taking in an orphan child. Relatives praised Richard for doing the right thing. But behind closed doors, Richard was already doing something else entirely. Within months, Richard had used his position as Ethan's legal guardian to quietly transfer the property into his own name. He told relatives it was, for safekeeping, that a 12-year-old couldn't be trusted to manage land and money, that he was simply protecting his brother's legacy until Ethan grew up. Nobody questioned it. Why would they? He was family. But there was no plan to give it back. Richard sold a portion of the land within 2 years. He used Ethan's father's savings to renovate his own house, to pay for his own children's school fees. And Ethan, the boy who was supposed to inherit all of it, grew up sleeping on a mattress in the storage room, wearing his cousin's old clothes, treated less like a nephew and more like a burden that came with a small government stipend attached. He asked once, just once, as a teenager, about his father's land. Richard's answer was cold and final: there's nothing left. Do you think land like that just sits there forever? It's gone. Be grateful you have a roof over your head. Ethan believed him. He had no documents. No proof. Just grief, and the quiet, growing suspicion that something wasn't right. Ethan left that house the day he turned 18. Not because anyone told him to, because he couldn't stand one more year of being reminded, in 100 small ways, that he didn't really belong there. He worked 2 jobs while studying at night. No family fallback. No inheritance to lean on, just his father's memory, and a promise he'd made to himself as a boy, that one day, he would understand exactly what happened to everything his parents had built. For years, that promise sat quietly in the back of his mind while he focused on simply surviving. He built a small career. A small apartment. A small, stable life, built entirely from nothing, while less than 20 kilometers away, his uncle lived comfortably in a house partly funded by money that was never his to spend. It happened almost by accident. Ethan was helping a friend navigate a property dispute and ended up at the local land records office, the same kind of office that had processed his father's land, all those years ago. Out of curiosity more than hope, he asked a clerk to search his father's name in the old records. What came back stopped him cold. The original registration, the one from before Richard transferred everything, hadn't been fully overwritten. Land transfers involving a minor legally required a specific court-approved guardianship document, filed and verified, before any transfer could be considered valid. That document didn't exist.